Hello, hi, yes, I can hear you. I know Darcy's having a hard
Hello,
time here.
hi.
Or dial in. You can dial in, Darcy, absolutely. Do you have that phone number? You should. So, yeah, dial in. All right, so guys, grab a pen and paper. I'm going to give you the shopping list. And this is for tomorrow or the next couple of days. These are the things to acquire. They're inexpensive and epically powerful. And we're going to talk about how 99% of serotonin is created in the gut, okay? So it's not like people are taking antidepressants, serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And I'm not saying to go off of those things. What I am saying is that 99% of serotonin is created in the gut, and 99% of the people in this country and around the world, their gut is broken. And it's broken simply because we've got non-food products that we're ingesting. We've all been on a round or two of antibiotics. If you've been on antibiotics and any type of aggressive amounts of antibiotics like me, I used to get strep throat all the time in my teens and my 20s, and I didn't know any of this stuff. So I just said, give me the good shit, give me the good shit. And it destroys the gut biome, right? So then you got all kinds of unintended consequences like weight gain. You can't digest your food. Lots and lots of problems, okay? So what we're going to do over this time frame is we're going to fix our broken guts, and in the process, serotonin makes us happy, right? We're going to fix our broken brains. I don't know if anybody on this workshop has ever experienced a little bit of depression or brain fog. Let's see here. But I have.
Yeah.
And let's see. Give me 1 second, you guys. Let me get this bad boy in the right way. Okay. So with that brain fog, when I started fixing my broken gut and I started working on my my food and my nutrition, my mood went from the highs and lows. Like I felt like I was bipolar, going up and down, up and down. In fact, I was diagnosed as bipolar at one point. And, I'm not saying people who have been diagnosed like with that stop taking their shit. I'm just saying when I started working on my nutrition, my highs and my lows went like this, right in the middle, right? And it's food and nutrition. And so we don't want to spike our insulin levels, anything like that. We're going to go through that stuff. But you can do so much with food. And I want you guys to understand that when you grocery shop, you're voting. You're voting for companies, what they create and continue to create. You're also voting for your family's health. And literally some things that you put in the cart are going to harm your kids and you, and some things are going to heal you and your kids. And I really want you guys to think of it this way, because I was as addicted to food as I was crack cocaine and girls. I mean, and you guys have heard my story. I've been addicted to everything, right? And it was when I started healing my body and my dopamine levels that I stopped craving things outside myself. But you guys got to understand that there are food products, food-like products that are not food, that are as addictive and more addictive than cocaine. One of them is sugar, okay? So let's see, you guys see not raise his hand. Okay. Get this. You guys have any questions, you can pop them into the chat box, okay, as we go. Okay, so here's what I want you guys to do. I'm not going to preach too much about all this stuff. Over time, you guys are going to start getting the gist of this through repetition. It's really important that you vote correctly when you go to the grocery store. Okay, I want you to vote with what you put in your cart. I'm going to show you exactly what to put in your cart, and you get to choose. If you want to have some ho-hos in the cupboard from time to time, be my guest. I happen to have some snacks that I like, dark chocolate and different things, but I've learned that if it's in my house, I will more than likely eat it. So I make damn sure that if I don't want that stuff to go in my body and then have to deal with the repercussions of that, then I just don't bring it in my house, period. Because I'm the guy that will get up at 1:30 in the morning and I'll go raid the pantry and I'll eat every freaking thing that's in a wrapper or a box until it's gone. So that's just me. I don't know if that's you. So here's what I want you guys to write down. First thing, we're going to detox a little bit. I don't know. I'm not going to have anybody raise their hand and say, like, who else constipated? But a lot of people are constipated. I've got some folks who like, I'm only pooping once a week. And I'm not kidding. I poop once a week. That's not a good thing. If you're eating a meal a day, you should be excreting a meal a day. If you're eating 3 times a day, you should be excreting 3 times a day. And most people are not. And that means that there's a lot of toxins being built up in the body. And that means that you're going to have a lot of cascading negative effects. You're going to have a toxic liver. With a toxic liver, you're going to have depression. You're going to have acne. You're going to have brain fog, all these different things. So I'm going to show you a really, really super inexpensive and very effective way to get rid of that, okay? And here it is. It's vitamin C, but it's a specific kind of vitamin C. It's called sodium ascorbate, okay? And it's sodium ascorbate powder. And I get the sodium ascorbate at Natural Grocers here in Boise. Very inexpensive. I think this thing was, it was less than $10 for this. And so at higher doses, it causes a flush. And so here's what I want you guys to do. Get yourself some sodium ascorbate. And when you're going to be at home for a little bit of time, and I mean probably 2 to 3 hours, you can do this, okay? Take sodium ascorbate and take a teaspoon and stir it up in water. And then drink it, and I'm talking a good amount of water, okay? Drink that, wait 15 minutes, and then do another teaspoon of sodium ascorbate. And do that every 15 minutes. And take a stereo into the John or a good book until things start moving. And you can go hang out in the bathroom, listen to some good tunes, reading a good book, and you're going to want to do that. Follow that up with activated charcoal. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about, or like kids or people who've been in drug overdose situations, and they pump their stomach, or they pump them full of activated charcoal. Activated charcoal it just absorbs everything that's a toxin in your body. Comes in a capsule like that. What's up, Ruppel? And I actually break them open and I put them in water and I stir it and I just drink the water. But I carry these with me everywhere. These things are great for gas, like eliminating gas. It absorbs gas. If you travel a lot, like my friend Tim, he's all over the country all the time and eating in restaurants. These are a great thing to have because a lot of times you're going to have some foodborne bacteria in this, in food and you know, in restaurants. And so to avoid ever getting food poisoning and making sure that your stomach is taken care of, take activated charcoal. Very, very inexpensive, okay? But now in this situation with the cleanse, you're going to take your ascorbic acid, your sodium ascorbate rather, until you start getting the flushing scenario happening in your body. It's going to happen pretty quick. It's going to happen within an hour, doing 1 teaspoon every 15 minutes. Hey, Jen.
Hi, how are you?
Sis? So 1 teaspoon every 15 minutes until you are on the throne, and you just hang out on the throne, baby, drinking water. And then you take your activated charcoal, and then what that's going to do is that's going to take all the toxins. This, by the way, releases a lot of toxins from your digestive system. This is going to capture those toxins and flush it through your system right into the John. Does that make sense? I told you we're going to talk about poop a lot. And it matters because it just matters.
My computer.
So how are you guys? Are you good?
No.
Okay, so what are we getting? We're getting sodium ascorbate. This is for the next couple of days, okay? If you don't have the money, steal it. Make amends later. Activated charcoal. This is for tomorrow, okay? The next thing you're going to do is you're going to go get yourself some organic lemons, okay? Now, we're going to get more in depth, more fancy, and we're going to have the fancy PowerPoints. I actually have one, by the way, but like I said, it broke tonight, so I got to redo it. I'm going to have you go get some organic lemons. They need to be organic, and I need you to just wash those babies off with soap or food-grade hydrogen peroxide, okay? Slice it in half, and then take a fork and just rake it. Rake the outside of the lemon, okay? And then you're going to take that lemon, you're going to put it in some, if you have filtered water or a really high-grade water filtration system, use it. And you want to do this in the evening so that it has the entire night to absorb this lemon. You're going to take this and you're going to squeeze the lemon into your water, right? Like that. And then you're just going to drop the whole lemon in there, like that. Okay? You're going to put that next to your bed, and you're just going to let that sit overnight. So it's going to become room temperature. And the thing, all the acids within the lemon and the peel are actually going to help digestion, and it's also going to help to flush your system of toxins, okay? It's also going to hydrate you. And here's the other aspect of that that's really important. I do this every single day. Most people, you know what, like Gatorade or like Pedialyte, they talk about electrolytes. And then they load that shit with so much sugar that it freaking spikes your insulin levels. It harms your body. This is the best electrolyte, better than Gatorade times 1,000. It's called pink salt. Okay. Now you can get Himalayan pink salt. You can get real salt, which comes from Utah. But you want to get this pink salt. It literally is pink because it has all, it's not been bleached, and it's got all the micronutrients, right? All the micronutrients are all the minerals that your brain needs and your body needs to actually function optimally, okay? And literally before I have people do one-on-one coaching sessions with me, I have them go through the brain exercise I showed you, and I have them put pink salt underneath their tongue. And literally it's just like this. I take it and I put that much. See that? That much. I put that much and then just underneath my tongue, and I drink my water. Okay? And I just let it sit there. And I drink my water and I dissolve the pink salt while I'm sipping on my morning glass of water. What that's doing is keeping you hydrated. All those micronutrients are going right into your brain and waking you up, right? And you're hydrating with your water and your lemon water. So you are flushing your digestive system, you're activating your kidneys and your liver, you're detoxifying those, and you're putting micronutrients into your brain so you're wide awake. And it's a really great way. Hey, Stephanie. It's a really great way to start your day. So I start my morning like that. I wake up and I do my morning meditation. I turn it over. You know, I literally hold up an empty cup in my tub and say, God, fill it up. You know, I'll do the footwork. You fill it up. And then I'll come in and I'll get my pink salt underneath my tongue. I'll do my lemon water and drink it while I'm brewing coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. And so I do my coffee after I've had a little bit of time for my water to soak in. By the time I've run my bath, yeah, you guys who think I'm a dork or sissy, I take a lot of baths every single day. That's where I do my meditating. I put in this speaker, I listen to the oneness Om, and I chant, and I freaking dial it in, baby. And so I brew my coffee while I'm drinking my water and all that and getting my morning set. Once my coffee's brewed, I make a bulletproof coffee. Dave Asprey made a very popular bulletproof coffee. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this butter. You can find this pretty much anywhere. If you have a Winco or a Fred Meyer's in your area, you can get Kerrygold butter. It's a grass-fed butter, and I'll tell you why that matters. So grass-fed butter, cows that are fed, that eat grass, they create an omega-3 fat in their body, okay? Omega-3 fats are anti-inflammatory. Now, if they're eating wheat, they're creating an omega-6. Hi, Linda. An omega-6 fat. Omega-6 fats are inflammatory, okay? And so when we eat wheat, and this is where I lose a lot of people, man. They're like, Jesus ate wheat. Yeah, but it was Jesus. We're not Jesus, you know? We eat wheat, we're going to get inflammation. And if your knees swell up and you have pain in your knees and they're swollen, what else is swollen? Your brain is swollen. And you can literally feel it. When you go off of wheat for any extended period of time, and like 2 to 3 weeks, every one of my clients who go off wheat for 3 weeks, inevitably, we have weak moments and they have a slice of pizza with the family. They call me the next day and say, oh my God, I feel like I got hit by a truck and I'm hungover. I go, yeah, isn't it wild? That's how you felt all the time. But we get downgraded so much on the slow decline on this standard American diet. Spell that out, standard American diet, a sad diet, that we don't realize how shitty we feel, how crappy and how much harm it's doing to our bodies. So when you clean your body up and stop eating wheat, when you reintroduce it, you'll feel like you got hit by a Mack truck. So the reason that we're doing grass-fed butter is because these cows have literally been fed nothing but grass. The majority of butter that we buy or is available in grocery stores and is marketed to us, those cows have been grained. They've been grain-fed to fatten them up, make them produce more milk. So they got omega-6 fats in there, right? You drink the milk, you eat the butter, you're going to get inflammation, you're going to feel like crap. Okay, so it's really important that you get grass-fed butter, and you can get coconut oil, or you can get liquid coconut oil, right? It's called medium chain triglycerides. okay? I like to buy mine from Now Nutrition. I just bought this one in a pinch because I didn't want to go to Natural Grocer, but I bought this at Winco. It's 4 times, and some of them up to 16 times more energy availability from the oil than just straight coconut oil, okay? That's a lot. Now, it's a medium chain triglyceride. It's not a long chain. It's a medium chain fat. And what that means is it will not stay on your body as fat. It literally only burns as fuel. Our brains love coconut oil and medium chain triglycerides. Our hearts love it. So what happens is when you put this in your coffee, and this is how I would recommend, if you're new to bulletproof coffee and you don't want to have, let's just call it like it is, an oil slick in your pants at the office, then you want to go a tablespoon and a tablespoon, a tablespoon and a tablespoon, and do that for a few days, see if you're good to go, and then increase it to 2 tablespoons and 2 tablespoons. I do 4 and 4, right? So I do 4 and 4 every morning. Sometimes I'll do 2 and 2 in my first cup, which is around 6:30 in the morning. And then I'll space it out, and about 10:30, I'll have another cup of bulletproof coffee with 2 and 2. I don't want to go over 4 tablespoons of each before I start eating at 1 o'clock. And we'll get into intermittent fasting next time. There's a reason for that, okay? So those are the key things. Put this in your coffee. If you don't like coffee, make some type of a concoction with your tea and do this. Here's what I do. I put, now all you ladies are gonna like this, can make your hair all slick and nice and pretty and your nails grow. I use this collagen that you can also buy from a natural grocer, okay? This is very inexpensive. These are very well kept cows, okay? This is gelatin, it's collagen, it's kosher. It was these were humanely raised animals, and it's a powder. So you guys can see in there, it's just a powder. And I put about a tablespoon of this in my bullet, my Ninja. A tablespoon of this, 2 and 2, right? And then right here. Before we get into the heavy-duty plant-based blood sugar moderators, I'm just going to show you the one that's the most inexpensive and super effective and tasty. Buy it in capsule form, because very rarely are you going to buy cinnamon from Stash or in the sticks that's real cinnamon, okay? And you guys can look this up, real cinnamon versus fake cinnamon. If you have those cinnamon sticks that are really thick, like you get it hard to break, but you put them like in apple cider and stuff, that's not real cinnamon. It's got it's a cousin of cinnamon, but it's a far enough removed cousin that it's got an ingredient in it naturally that is a toxin to your body, okay? So it's really important that you get real cinnamon, okay? So I buy the capsules because it's real cinnamon, and I just break the capsule open into my blender with my collagen and with my butter and oil. And I tell you what, it is amazing. You know, that pumpkin spice stuff, you don't need a pumpkin spice. You can make this stuff at home, man. Put some cloves in there and some nutmeg. It's delicious, right? I know Stephanie does it, right? You doing some bulletproof? Right on. It's good, huh? Stephanie's a rock star, by the way. Without ever meeting me, she lost like, what, 80 pounds? Like, you're amazing. You're just amazing. 150. You're badass. Good job, sister. I really appreciate you being a part of this. So I know I'll share some things that you didn't know, because you know that's who I do. so is everybody clear on your morning breakfast? You know what you're gonna do in the mornings? Everybody like this? Yeah, baby. Okay, cool. So we're gonna start off with pink salt under the tongue. You're pre-prepared the night before lemon water, right? Where you take an organic lemon. You're gonna cut it. You're gonna wash it, cut it in half. You're gonna rake it with a fork, right? The peel, because the peel's good too. And you're gonna drop that into your water and let it sit overnight so it becomes room temperature, and all the goodness absorbs into your water from the lemon. In the morning, you're gonna take a dash of salt, pop it underneath your tongue, and start swilling on your lemon water while you're brewing your coffee or your tea to make your bulletproof coffee, okay? Now, bulletproof is remarkable. As we go into this, I will highly recommend fasting. This is this program is three things: love, fast, and share. That's it. And it comes from the 12-step program I'm a part of, which is trust God, clean house, help others. Okay. So love, you got to love yourself. And that's where this morning I did the live stream about a rose. And here's what I want you guys to do. I went and bought myself a rose. Why? Because I love me and I deserve a rose. And roses are the highest frequency like flower known to man. Like if you go to certain countries, different countries, and some places in this country, when they're doing like healings, and I don't know if you believe this, but I do because I've seen it. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I've watched people who are sick become unsick and become right before my eyes. And a lot of times they will take roses and they'll surround their head and their body, and then they will do these prayers basically, man, and boom, people are healed. So I love the fact that these are high frequency, and I love the thought of, I know this, I can only love you to the degree that I love myself. And like I told you, I was addicted to everything: relationships, drugs, booze, food, everything. But the relationships were really challenging, and I always had an issue with it. It was only when I started doing deep inner journey work and I started working 12-step programs and I really started to love myself that like very meaningful relationships began to show up in my life, right? To the equivalent that I love myself. And so I go buy myself a rose at least a couple times a week, and I have it on my desk because I am my beloved. And because I know, like when I prepare my breakfast in the morning, when I prepare these items, well, imagine this: your beloved, the one that you love, your spouse. And you know how when you prepare a coffee or a meal and you're really present with them and you're adoring, that adoration, how does that feel? It feels amazing, right? And how does it feel to that other person to be adored like that? That's a great word, adore. I adore you, right? You can be just a meanie head, but I'm still going to love you no matter what forever, just like our kids. That feeling, I want to have that for myself. As I make my coffee, I love me. Hey, sexy, I'm making you a mean cup of coffee. I wish I had a mirror above my blender, right? And I treat my day like that. I prepare when I grocery shop. I listen to high vibrational content. Like I'm a big repetition guy. I love Jim Rohn's The Art of Exceptional Living, and I highly recommend everybody get The Art of Exceptional Living and listen to it every day, over and over. He's entertaining, he's fun, and he's got these principles and philosophies that every major business owner on the planet, the most successful network marketing companies, the most successful Fortune 500 companies, they subscribe to the philosophies and principles that Jim Rohn teaches in The Art of Exceptional Living that were taught to him by an old businessman in Payette, Idaho named Mr. Shoaf, right? So Jim Rohn is our Mr. Shoaf. And so listen to those things while you're grocery shopping and with intention, right? What you're feeding your head is so important. And so when I grocery shop, I listen to things like that. And I really think about the people I'm going to feed and nourish with what I put into my grocery cart, right? And when I come home, if possible, I incorporate people. I've got in my PowerPoint pictures of my son with like swimming goggles on, chopping onions, right? And my daughters are doing homework or playing games, but we're together as a family. And that's one thing that we can really do to really serve on our communities is make dinners and preparing meals cool again, right? Without these things, put these away, man. Make it cool to put them down and sit down and hang out with our families over high frequency, high nutritionally dense foods. How cool is that? Right? We want to go buy our kids a Polo or the newest Nikes. That's bullshit, man. Put good, nutritious food in their bodies so that they think clearly and they're not all ADD at school and all over the place and being called names by other kids and the teacher telling them to sit down, which is harming their self-esteem. Does that make sense? Give them good, wholesome, nutritious meals that stabilize their blood sugar levels so they can stay calm and cool and healthy, right? That's important stuff. And this is how we transform the world, one person, one family, one community at a time. Got it? So that's what the rose is about. I watch this rose and I watch the rose go through its process, and I realize that just like this rose, so is my day, so is my week, so is my month, so is my life, right? and it's all going somewhere. And you can do whatever you want with your rose at the end of the week, but I like to do everything like ritualistic because it matters, right? Because this symbolizes something. You know, it bloomed and then it wilts and then it degrades and it becomes nourishment for something new, right? And so anything that needs to go out with that goes out with it, and I bring in the new rose and I bring in the new. Does that make sense? Is everybody cool? Let me check. Oh my God, I got a lot of questions here. Hold on. So can we use tea? Stephanie asked, can we use tea if we're not a coffee drinker? Absolutely. And you can spice it up with all kinds of good spices. And I've tried a lot of different things because I've had a lot of different people, you know. I coached a lot of LDS folks. So I had to go through a process of finding drinks that worked for them. I made a lot of really great ones, but I tell you what, I made a couple that were really like, oof, not good. Ceylon cinnamon. Ceylon, thank you, Linda. Okay, so I want to share this. Can I share this, Linda? Your recipe? So Linda uses Ceylon cinnamon. Her bulletproof drink, she has 3 ounces of cold brew organic coffee. If you guys have not tried cold brew coffee, man, you can get those things at like the co-op, the cold brew containers and a filter. It's far less acid. I think it's amazing. And 6 ounces of green tea. Okay, now, and Linda, as you guys, roll along, you'll get to know her. She is very, she's an energy worker. She's a healer. She's an amazing woman. And she's one of the most amazing real estate agents and brokers in the world. Why? Because she cares. You know, she's creating environment and community and family for folks. So I love her. I've known her a long time. And so she muscle tested what is going to test strong in her body. We can get into some muscle testing on later workshops. It is real. It absolutely is real. The intention, like I found out that I'm allergic. I'm that guy. I'm allergic to dairy, soy, wheat, and corn, right? And check this out. I went to a chiropractor in Nampa. His name's Dr. Ware. And Dr. Ware would put different little vials all over my body and muscle test me. And that's how he found out that I was allergic to those 4 things. But get this, I went and I had an actual blood draw food sensitivity test done. And guess what it said? I'm allergic to dairy, wheat, soy. So muscle testing is real, man. And so we'll get into that a little bit. I'll have Linda share some of that because she's really dialed in on it. Whoever has the TV on the background, please mute your mic. Okay, that's a request. If you got some background noise, you can either mute yourself or turn your TV down. Okay, if you have some background noise, yeah, please do. Please mute your background or yourself. Okay, raw cocoa with 2 tablespoons of grass-fed butter. That's awesome. Okay, I'm glad you said that, Linda, because cocoa, and we're talking Hershey's cocoa, and you can get all kinds of different brands, but cocoa, baking cocoa, is super high in antioxidants. Very high in antioxidants. And coffee is as well. People don't realize that most Americans, this is again a sad reality, get most of their nutrients and antioxidants from their cup of coffee in the morning than they do from all the food they eat the rest of the day. Right? That's crazy. So you can really power punch your coffee by including these different things. Cocoa is another great one. Okay. So I'm going to move forward here and make sure we're good for time. I don't want to keep you all real late. 45.
What is that?
Okay. We can still hear that too. Oh, that's the phone. That's my Aunt Lynn. Okay, so let's move on. This is the last supplement. And just to recap again, sodium ascorbate. Sodium ascorbate. On your time, you don't have to do this tomorrow, but when you have this and you have some time near the John and a good book, sodium ascorbate, a teaspoon every 15 minutes in a glass of water until you're getting down to business, right? Cap that off with some activated charcoal on top of that. So, because what this is going to do on that very fluid experience, it's going to absorb all the toxins from your digestive system that the ascorbic acid has released. It's going to push them through your body. okay, and end of the John, which is where you want it to go. Because if you do this and you don't continue to flush, it's going to reabsorb back into your body and defeats the purpose, okay? So you're going to have sodium ascorbate, activated charcoal, pink salt. You can get Himalayan pink salt. You can get real pink salt right out of Utah, man. I'm close to Utah, so I buy real salt. It's good stuff, same stuff. Micronutrients for the brain, keeps you hydrated. Capsulated cinnamon is my cinnamon of choice. This is a blood sugar modulator. If I'm going to eat any type of, I do white rice because it's a fast burning carb. I do not do corn and I do not do wheat. But if I did, I would make damn sure I took a couple capsules of cinnamon because it helps to keep your blood sugar levels from spiking. Because if your blood sugar levels spike, because those foods actually, wait 1 second. There you go. I'm gonna hit some mutes here. Somebody's still got it. Hey, Brian. Is that you, bro? Brian's iPad? Can you mute yourself out, bro? I think it's you. I'm going to give people your address. That's not good. No, I'm kidding. You're going to have Tim coming out from the East Coast, man. Turn down your TV. Brian's my brother. We went to high school together, and legitimately, he's such a good man. Last thing, and we're going to roll. I believe everybody needs to have milk thistle. Okay, this is a really great milk thistle because it actually has 700 milligrams of turmeric in it as well. And Natural Grocers has really done a great job of creating high quality stuff. So milk thistle extract does a couple of things. So the turmeric in this is going to be anti-inflammatory, anti-cancer, okay? And the way they've created it, it's become more bioavailable in this. Milk thistle is a liver detoxifier, and it helps to heal the liver. And then also what milk thistle does is it methylates. And you'll know what methylation means. Milk thistle methylates, garlic methylates, onions methylate. Whenever you can eat onions, garlic, and milk thistle, do it as much as you can because it methylates. What that means in construction worker terms is it allows the process to change it into glutathione in the liver. Glutathione, people are spending huge money for glutathione supplements. Why? Because you've heard of antioxidants, right? Well, glutathione is the master antioxidant. I mean, it is incredibly powerful. So you don't have to go buy this expensive supplement. And actually, a lot of people get glutathione injections, right? Because it's so powerful. It just cleans everything out. But the reality is, when you eat garlic and you eat onions and you're doing milk thistle, it turns that into glutathione in your liver. So you've got this liver just loaded with glutathione, right? And I'll show you how to release all that glutathione on a later workshop. I don't want to lose you on this one. It might be a coffee enema, but it might not. But though you get the point. So you've got to eat foods that actually, look at Stephanie's like, oh, hell no. Oh, you don't do that down there? Okay. So here's one thing that I promise you this. I studied this, I've tested it, I've studied it, and I've worked with really amazing coaches. Ben Greenfield's a friend of mine. If you go to Ben Greenfield Fitness, Ben lives in Spokane. He's one of the top, most sought after biohackers, body hackers in the industry. Top athletes, top CEOs go to Ben Greenfield to help them to clear their mind, strengthen their brain, their mind, and their body, and heal their bodies. So I learned a lot of this stuff from Ben Greenfield, from just a lot of really amazing people. And then I implemented it into my life. And so I want you guys to be open to this stuff, because when someone gets diagnosed with a cancer, a high-grade cancer that scares the shit out of them, guess what they'll do? Anything to live, right? So I'm recommending that you look past some of the fear or the whatever it may be, and attempt and try some of these things. And I will give you resources to go research this yourself. In fact, from this workshop, I'm going to give you a movie to go seek out, watch, and take notes on. That's where I learned some of this stuff, and then I went and took it even further. But I just highly recommend, before your body gets to a place where it's breaking down and you've got to go to these radical extremes to heal yourself, try implementing a few things that will actually prevent that and actually heal your body. Because here's what happens. And I want to close with this. Let me pull up this movie real quick. I'll get the trailer. There we go. I'm going to have a members area for you guys. And it's got all this stuff. It will have all this in there and all the research and all the documentation. So you don't take my word for any of this stuff. Please don't. I mean, go find this stuff out for yourself. You'll find it. It's out there. And then implement it in your lives. Okay. Okay, I'm going to share the screen. Share. Okay. Can you all see that? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh, this isn't on anymore.
There are laws against healing cancer. The doctor is not allowed to try anything else. He must use only those treatments that have already proven to be failures. Imagine what we could do if this could be accepted. But there are laws against it. You're not allowed to heal. There's too much money to be made on drugs.
No, I don't think there's any evidence that anybody's ever been cured by Gerson therapy.
Well, has a Gerson therapy ever cured a cancer patient?
Oh, of course not.
I've never interviewed any Gerson patients. It really is pointless.
What cigarette do you smoke, Doctor? More doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. See how Camels agree with your throat.
It is very important for the Orthodox people to keep patients from coming to alternative treatments because they work. People have been so brainwashed for so long.
The reason that the food manufacturers are telling the public that it's safe is because they're making a huge profit off of it.
You have Monsanto, DuPont, Bayer, Syngenta, and Dow. Those are the big 5 companies behind genetically engineered foods. And they all share one thing in common. They're not agricultural companies. They're chemical companies.
All right, can you all hear that okay? Okay, cool. So that is The Beautiful Truth. You can find that on Netflix. You can rent it on YouTube. Highly recommend you guys get that movie. And just remain open-minded. I want you guys to remember that. Let's see. Stop sharing. There we go. I want you to remember a couple of things. And this is stuff you kind of have to search for. But it's really not, you don't have to search very far. If you remember that Sigmund Freud was a psychoanalyst. He was not a therapist. He was a psychoanalyst, which what that means is he had people sit in his chair for years sometimes, and he just analyzed them. He just figured out what made them tick, right? And we know it makes people tick. You know, there's fear and love. There's seeking pleasure, avoiding pain. If you If you scare somebody, you can control somebody, right? That's what he found out. And then there was this guy named Edward Bernays. You know who Edward Bernays is? Edward Bernays is Sigmund Freud's nephew. So they have a very close relationship. They were in communication. Edward Bernays wrote a book called what? Propaganda. Okay, so basically the book Propaganda is what they used in World War II. It's what they used to indoctrinate and brainwash an entire country into killing millions and millions and millions of people. Okay, propaganda is what is handed to every major market. It's like required reading for marketing students, right? It's every major politician has read propaganda. Okay, so what they've done is they've taken our deepest fears, because we're magic creatures. We're amazing and beautiful. We have so much magic in us. But they don't want that. They want to constantly put in front of your face the most base level imagery. They want to push our sex button. They want to push our pleasure button. They want to push our fear button. Scare you, scare you, scare you, so that they can sell you shit. And if you remember what Houdini said, what the eyes see and the ears hear, the mind will believe. So I highly recommend, and Linda and I have had a lot of these conversations, please, 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 turn your TV off. Turn your TV off, turn the news off. Keep your TV around to watch movies like The Beautiful Truth. Keep your speakers and your radios around to put in high quality shows and content, and program yourself. It matters. It radically matters, because, and we'll get into this on a later one, but it's already proven, man, that what I'm thinking right now and pushing through my eyes with intention and emotion is literally physically changing you on a physical level. Changing DNA, either healing it or harming it, winding it or unwinding it. I'm literally healing you or harming you. So you have to know that what you're watching and who you're around literally matters more than you can possibly imagine, or rather, as much as you can imagine. So choose wisely. Choose these your circles of influence. It's better to be alone than around the wrong person and the wrong people. I would rather be alone than around people who are fearful, jealous. You know, there's a lot of very unwell people. There's not good and bad. There's well and unwell. You know, and sometimes I go into the unwell zone in different times or different areas of my life. Wonderfully, I've surrounded myself with individuals who call me out and say, whoa, 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 what's going on? You need to do a little bit of work there, my friend. Those are the people I hang out with. And so I just encourage you to do the like. And I think that's all we got for now. Anybody have any parting questions for this evening? Ben Greenfield, yeah. Anyone? Anyone? I am going to give you a site. I've given this to a lot of folks. This is going to be, it's compiled and going into a members area, but it'll give you an opportunity to peruse the wellness workshops. Wellnessworkshops.com. This is not like my best artistic website creating work, but it was content that I put together so that I could build members areas, but I could also make available to the public so that they could start doing this research for themselves. If you just went through the information on the wellness workshops, your life is going to radically be enhanced, and your frequencies are going to be raised to new levels, and you're going to live longer, but not just longer. I believe you're going to live quality, which is important. So did that come through for everybody? The wellnessworkshops.com? Cool. Okay, so you can click on that, and if you click on the two blue buttons below it, and the wellness workshops has not been updated in quite a while, but there's some great interviews there. There's some really great interviews there. But those blue buttons are going to take you to 2 pages that cover a lot of what we talked about here. It's going to go into intermittent fasting. It's going to go into the Gerson therapies, and you can go read and study about why coffee enemas, I know, freaks a lot of people out. I lose a lot of, well, I don't lose a lot of clients because they trust me. Why, you know, the reasons behind that, and how when you do a coffee enema, the caffeine actually causes your liver to, your digestive system to excrete a lot of bile, which a lot of people don't have a very effective and healthy digestive system. So it excretes bile, but also unleashes glutathione, the master antioxidant, right? That methylation of milk thistle, garlic, and onion loads up in your liver. So that's some of the magic stuff. And it's a massive detoxifier. It'll give you that beautiful glow. People wonder what you've been doing. So I always tell people, bottoms up and get after it. But enjoy that stuff. And here's how this works. I want you guys to feel very comfortable messaging me. And it doesn't matter when, just just know that if I don't get back with you right away, it's simply because I'm doing stuff, but I will. Okay, and stay persistent. You're not going to bother me. I want you to go through this process and make darn sure that you're clear about how this stuff works. And any questions, night or day, just send me a message on Facebook and I'll get back with you on that stuff. Does that sound fair? You guys promise me that? All right. All right. All right, guys. I appreciate you big time. And thanks for showing up.